Arash, when the headlines first came out, we all thought to ourselves, well, I guess if anyone's going to buy them, it could be Microsoft. They've got the war chest for it. Is this a deal you think that makes sense?
Well, I think there's so many different perspectives, Dominic, to bear in mind in this scenario. But if we're gonna start with Microsoft, I think the attraction for them is a move into social media. On the back of an incredible resurgence in their share price and the value of the company. This is Satya Nadella, a CEO who has used M&A strategically with LinkedIn and elsewhere to do deals and to add parts to the business of Microsoft. Which seem to be working quite well as if the share price is to be sort of seen as the barometer of that. By getting TikTok, they then get into social media, which a little bit caught people off guard given the strength of their business generally, to move into a space which is more fraught with, let's say, more attention and scrutiny from the general public and from Congress. But it seems to be an area where they seem to want to expand. They've clearly shown their hand, and I think it's safe for us to say that, while there are reports of other people being interested, Microsoft is way out in front of this process. But that by no means means that we're going to end up with a deal at the end of this. So
Arash, can we talk about your perception of the synergies that could happen because of this? I mean, I remember growing up in my formative years being an Office 365 user, right? I had Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I was using, some of these applications. I was using Internet Explorer. All of these things work together. What exactly does TikTok then do to the ecosystem at Microsoft? I'm trying to picture a world where LinkedIn is married to TikTok. Does that have to happen?
It doesn't. No, I think it's more about the value and sort of the reason why everyone is so sensitive about TikTok is this enormous amount of data that's generated. Being on, let's say, 100 million American cell phones in real time, the amount of information that produces, and obviously it seems like CFIUS is unnerved by that being in the hands of the Chinese government. My understanding is, a Chinese entity, which potentially could be reached by the Chinese government. My understanding is the concern specifically is not about data leakage, but it's just the enormous power that you have if you have 100 million Americans' data in real time, always coming into one system, and how that could be mobilized. And so for CFIUS, my understanding is that's the specific risk. But if you're a company, and we live in a world where, people like to run around and say data is the new oil, the value of that data is immeasurable if you can do something with it. So Microsoft with its Azure platform, with Xbox, how can it use that data to build a much smarter web of information around all of us and then potentially monetize that? So you can see the attraction is fundamentally in how that data and real-time information is used.
I joke with friends and colleagues about this notion that Amazon probably knows more about me than my own family members know about me, and that's because of the data it gathers on me. This is a time right now when Washington, D.C. is focused very much on big technology and its influence overall on American and perhaps world society. This is a big deal to get done from a big tech company. Can big tech deals get done? Is this precedent setting for allowing other big technology firms to make large acquisitions like this?
I mean, I was actually discussing this with colleagues. My firm belief is that big tech is so powerful right now. They're so bolstered by the value of their share prices, by their businesses. As the crisis has gone on, they've only become stronger. It's only further sped up the shift in power to them, that they're 100% going to be using that power to do deals. And Microsoft showing up to do TikTok is just an example of that. And I think we're going to see this over and over again over the coming months, where big tech will look to do huge acquisitions. And I think that will continue to be the state of play until there's a broader effort to break them up or do something different. But there's no reason to think that these companies, which are now, I would say, the four or five most powerful companies in the world, are going to slow down.